Hello everyone, my name's Christina and I'm doing a Titch talk today, and I'm going to be talking about a MAC tutorial that I went to, and I've decided to give you my 10 top tips on what I learned from it. And I'm doing this because I admittedly am awful at makeup. I don't really understand what I need to do. It really confuses me. So if you're the type of person like me who wears makeup but doesn't really know what they're putting on and goes into a store and goes, I have no idea what I need to get, I have no idea what this means, and I'm really confused, and then I walk back out with nothing. I really found it helpful, and it was things I didn't even know about. So if you're like me, then it's good that you're watching. So my first tip, baby wipes, not good. And nor a face wipe. So if you use face wipes, if you use baby wipes, the lady said that they're just not good for your skin. So try and get a cream makeup remover and use cotton pads to remove the makeup, because I cannot remember the reason why, but baby wipes are just not good. I think they remove all the oil from your skin. So I've been doing it wrong for a very long time. So tip 2 is to cleanse, tone and moisturise, which I haven't done forever. I just never done it. So I wasn't taught to do it. I just didn't understand what it was. I just thought, just putting all these products on my skin, it's not going to help, it's just going to make things worse. When you get a bit older, you start to realise that actually your skin does get dry and it probably does need these products. So she said to cleanse. Now cleansing is to take off all the dirt and all the bacteria and everything. So get a really nice cleanser. Luckily, I just got a really nice present for Christmas. I think the 3 things that you need to do. So I think this is a cleansing gel. So I'm assuming, because it says cleanse, that you do this every morning. I've done it so you put a little bit of water with your hands and lather it up on your face, and then you just rub it all off with cool water in the morning and warm water at night. So that's that, so if you can see that. That's cleansing gel. And then use toner. So toner, I don't really know what it does. Tones your skin, but this is a daily energizer wake up booster, so I'm assuming this is toner. It's with red currant, green coffee, white tea extracts. So these are all Clarins products. So this is the toner. I don't know if you can see that. So I use that, and I use a cotton pad and just rub that on, and then I moisturise. So it's all very new to me. And the lady said at the MAC tutorial, always, whatever you're doing, start from the middle and go outwards. You start from your, the T-zone area and out. And with moisturiser, she said, use a foundation brush to apply it, rather than your fingers. Because what happens is, you've just done all that cleansing and toning, and then you get moisturiser, and then you just whack it all on with your fingers. And apparently then you get bacteria back on your face. So she said, use a foundation brush. So I haven't tried it, but if you want to try it, let me know. I think this is a foundation brush, which you probably know, but I just want to show you. This is a Real Techniques facial foundation brush. So she said use that for moisturiser rather than your fingers. So that's the other top tip, is always use brushes, because you don't want any bacteria in your face. The other thing that I was told is that if you don't have a toner, what is really good is rose water. Now rose water is really natural, and you can get it from most supermarkets, and it's really cheap, and it can literally, you can use it on any skin, and it's really good for it. So rose water. So I'm going to go and get some. So I will let you know where I got it and how much it was, but they said it was in the baking aisle. So I don't know, willing to give it a go, so rose water. Tip 3 is to use a primer. So apparently, before you apply your makeup, so you've done all your cleansing, your toning and moisturising, and then you need to apply a primer, and a primer protects what you've just done. So you've just moisturised and cleansed your skin, it's all good, and then you're going to slap on some foundation or all this makeup, and it's going to clog up your pores and everything. So you want to protect that because you've just cleansed them. So primer protects them pores, so it doesn't allow the foundation to go into the pores. If I'm wrong, correct me. And it also makes your makeup last longer, so it gives it a base to sit on. So I've never heard of it. I don't know where I'm going to get it from, but I will get it. I don't like to spend a lot on makeup. Never have done. So I like to kind of not spend so much. So I'm going to try and find like a mid-range product for you. Because I don't like to wear makeup every day. I just do my eyes, and I don't really like to wear foundation. I try and let my skin breathe. So a good thing she said as well, if you don't like to wear makeup every day, you can get a tinted moisturiser, which is apparently really good for older ladies. So if you're a bit older, then a tinted moisturiser is really good for you. Tip 4 is something I've never really thought about, but actually like makes a lot of sense. So it's to apply all your eye makeup before your foundation. So you put your primer on and then do your eyes. So do like put your eye primer on, do your eyebrows, everything that you need to do. And then when you do your foundation, if you've got any of that, you know, powder under your eyes from your like or you get like, you know, dabs from your mascara or something happens, you can get it off before you put your foundation on. So you're not going to have to just layer and layer and layer and try and get, you know, and then you get dark circles here. So that's a really good tip that I've never really thought about. But I think that's the way I'm going to go from now on. So another top tip from the MAC tutorial was that you should use a powder for your eyebrows rather than an eye pencil. And I think this is true because I try and use a powder, and when I've used a pencil it just makes a really like strong line, and I feel like the powder blends more and it like actually attaches to your eyebrow, you know, hairs and stuff. So I'd use a powder. I would use a brush like this, just like an eyebrow brush. It's an angled brush, so it's really easy to do your eyebrows with, so just dab it a little bit. And also another tip, one of my tips actually, so not from the MAC tutorial but she probably would have said, is that use a colour that is not so dark. If you think, because I feel like I've got quite dark eyebrows, but when I use a really dark colour it's actually too dark, so it makes me look like I've got really don't know, like really definite eyebrows and they're really dark. It makes my face look really pale. So yeah, to make sure that you're using like a lighter colour. Another thing for that tip was that, so you do your eyebrows, do it with a powder, but also you can use a concealer to highlight. So this is a kind of contour, I think it's contouring. And you do like you get a highlight concealer, so something quite light, like a concealer, and you make a line just under your eyebrow to give it a nice definite shape. And if you want to like take out a bit, you can make them really nice and shape. And then get a cotton bud and then just blend it with that and just leave like a fine white line around the under edge of your eyebrow, and it makes them stand out really nicely. So tip number 6, smoky eyes. The one thing that I took from it is everyone has like a colour that's really good for them. So if you've got blue eyes, it's more oranges and browns, which I'd never known. I thought, no, it would just be blues. It is blues, but more to make your blue eyes stand out, it's oranges. It's the opposite. So if you look at a colour chart, it's like the opposites. There's like triangles with all these different colours. So yeah, find your opposite and use that colour. So we did a kind of purple to orange to like a light colour. Which was really nice. But the one thing that stood out for me was when you're doing the dark colour, so the one that's on the outside, make like, when you close your eye, you've got like a natural triangle. That's where you want to apply the dark colour, and it's only a third of the way, so it's only slightly. So make like a triangle with that dark colour on your eyelid, and then just like blend it in and make sure it's darker near near your eyelashes, so it gets lighter as you go up. And then do the same on the other side, so do the dark. So don't try and do the whole eye and then do the other whole eye. Do it together, because then you're going to get the same on each eye. So this is tip 7. We're on tip 7 now. So something else that was mentioned that we used was something called cake eyeliner. So instead of using a liquid eyeliner, you can use a cake eyeliner, and it's a hard palette. So it's black in a hard like a palette, and you get water and you spray it on it, and that makes it kind of a liquid. And it's really good because it's really subtle and it's nice because you can apply it with, if you apply it with, these are new by the way, so I'm still getting used to it, but if you apply it with an eyeliner brush, like that, then you can, it's really easy to do, and it looks really nice, and I think it lasts a long time. So I wouldn't know where you get it, but it's called Cake Eyeliner. Don't know why it's called Cake. Okay, so tip 8, using a corrector palette. I've never ever heard of this, but it exists. So it's a palette and it's got green, kind of a pinky red, blue and a clear, I think. They're the 4 colours. And basically what happens is you put your primer on, and before you put your foundation on, you're going to try and hide your spots. It's like a concealer, but it's the colours like take out the other colours. Does that make sense? So if you've got a red spot, you put green on it to take out that colour. So when you put your foundation on, it actually covers it. So I'm going to get some and I'm going to try it out. I can't remember what the other colour's for, but it's basically opposites again. So it, you know, so if you've got like a blotchy skin, or you've if you've got blotchy skin, or you've got something on your face, like, yeah. So the Corrector Palette is called. So I'm going to look for one and see what I can find and let you know. Tip 9. Tip 9 was that I've just bought brushes. I've never ever had nice brushes before, and I got these for Christmas, and I'm so happy with them. So these are Real Technique brushes. Oh, that's an accent brush it's called. It's got it on there. That's good. Didn't know that I had that on there. But the tip that I want to tell you is, if you wash them and they're wet and you put them up like this, what she said was all the water from the brush is going to go into this, and that's going to lose its stick, so it's going to like pull out. But when you wash them, if you leave them horizontal, then they dry better. Either that way, so if you want to leave them like that, you can. I don't know how you would, but just leave them like this to dry, so that they're not going to like go into the kind of stick bit and get it all wet. So tip 10 is my most important, and the one that I never ever knew was the case, but now I do, is foundation. Now, getting a foundation for your skin is really important, and I've never ever found one that I'm happy with. But what she said was, you know, I don't know how many of you do this, but do you test foundation on your hand? Because I do, always have done. I just put it on my hand to see if it's the right colour. She said not to do that. So, because if you put your hand up to your face, like, it's not the same colour. I've got a bit of foundation on there now. But what she said is to test it on your neck, because that's the same colour. Didn't know that. I apply my foundation with my foundation brush, and which is fine, but you do get, like, you know, the streaks. Like, what she used was, it's called a stippling brush, and she said for me to get one because it just makes your complexion look amazing. So they're my top 10 tips that I learned from the MAC tutorial. I thought it was a really good 3 hours. I've learned so much about makeup that I didn't know, and I think that's it. If you've got any questions, comment in the box below. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful. If I remember anything, I'll let you know, but I will do another video when I've bought all these things to let you know how much they were, how I'm getting on with them, and what I actually think is good and really beneficial if you're just wearing everyday makeup. But thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye!